Have you ever had difficulty recalling information from a cluttered web page or a poorly organized presentation? Or have you ever been captivated by an infographic that seems to easily simplify and explain complex information and data? What you see here at work is visual hierarchy, the arrangement of visual elements in a well-structured order of importance. This isn't just about aesthetics. Order, in general, plays a crucial role in cognitive processing and memory. In this video, we'll explore the power of order and how visual hierarchy can enhance our memory and recall, which will benefit us as both consumers and creators. Before we explore more about visual hierarchy and the power it has on attention, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video so we can continue to feed you nuggets of information on brain and behavior. So going back to visual hierarchy, in visual hierarchy, colors, shapes, sizes, and placement are arranged in a way that guides the viewer's attention and emphasizes the most important information in a clear-cut manner. Information can be understood, remembered, and acted upon much easily when it is beautifully organized visually. Effective design that applies visual hierarchy properly is like giving a map to a lost person and letting that map guide their eyes logically and intuitively through the path. There are key principles of visual hierarchy that helps designers create clear and effective designs. These building blocks of visual hierarchy are worth noting even for non-designers. For one, there's size. Generally, using size variations helps to establish a clear visual hierarchy. Bigger doesn't necessarily mean better, but creating larger elements does give attention to smaller ones. Then we go on to contrast and color. Contrast and color, or hues, help create visual separation and draws attention to important elements. As evident, brighter colors draw in greater attention than duller ones. You can also do a visual hierarchy through typography or fonts. Distinguish different levels of information using variations in font, size, weight, and style. Headings and titles should be more prominent than body text, and having variation in fonts and sizes in text helps to emphasize what's most important. Alignment. Elements that are aligned with each other create a sense of order and unity. Use consistent alignment to create visual harmony, and how a text is aligned can determine the direction in which the viewer reads. Then there's proximity and grouping. Group related elements together to visually connect them and separate them from unrelated elements. This is great for showing relationship between two things. The further you put them apart, the less they seem associated. Repetition can also help with visual hierarchy, as repeating certain design elements such as colors, shapes, or patterns creates visual consistency and helps with recall and recognition. By repeating colors, fonts, or styling throughout a visual composition, you help everything look cohesive as one whole. Make use of white spaces. Empty or negative spaces around elements helps create visual breathing room and emphasizes important content. Negative space is a good way to create focus and allow the eyes to pay attention to specific items in your design. Then there are directional cues. Utilize lines, arrows, or any implied movement to guide the viewer's eyes in a desired direction or sequence. Not only does this help to literally direct the eyes to the focal point of your presentation, it can create an illusion of structure. And finally, there is the focal point. Create a clear, focused point by placing the most important element in a prominent position within the design. Focal points can also be created by differentiating it through color, shape, or size. Ultimately, it's what the eyes should notice first. Our brains are wired to recognize patterns and prioritize information. According to research, we know that visual information is processed quicker and more efficiently than just text-based information. In fact, brain can identify images in as little as 13 milliseconds, which is faster than a blink of an eye, according to a study published in the journal Attention, Perception, and Psychophysics. Using visual hierarchy in presenting things, whether it be designing a web app or simply giving a presentation, can deliver information in a structured way to emphasize the most important elements, and thus guiding the audience's eyes on what to focus. By doing so, we are likely to remember the information being fed to us as we present them in a logical and clear hierarchy. You may have seen many designers do this, where they make a headline larger and bolder than the body text, which helps to emphasize what to read first. You can see this in newspapers, blogs, videos, thumbnails. Visual hierarchy is all around us. Visual hierarchy also plays a big role in memory. Working memory helps us store and manipulate information for short periods of time, but working memory has a limit, as we can only hold on to so much information at a given time. Visual hierarchy helps us utilize our working memory more efficiently because it lets us focus on the most important stuff, and thus remembering it better. For example, let's look at the principle of contrast. It's easier for us to remember when two elements are close to one another and have a lot of distinctive contrasts, such as black text on white. Think about a highlighter over text in a book. Our eyes are immediately drawn to this text much faster and consume the information much more easily. We can also enhance working memory through grouping and proximity. Our brains naturally group visual elements that are close together or have similar characteristics. So by putting things in proximity of each other, our brains create a relationship of that items together. So for example, let's say you want to visualize something standing out from the rest. Then you can make it separated from that group, or you can use contrast to make it stand out even further. Overall, good visual hierarchy can enhance cognitive processing and memory of information. When you present information clearly and in a logical way, users are more likely to stay engaged. This is essential for websites, thumbnails, presentations, anything that's meant to teach, inform, or persuade. The power of visual hierarchy lies in its ability to enhance our ability to process and recall information. Whether you're designing a website, making a presentation, or even learning something new, keep visual hierarchy in mind to digest the information more effectively. Considering we live in an age of information and visual mediums, knowing the power of order and how visual hierarchy helps grab attention can make or break whether or not you hook someone in. If videos like this are interesting to you, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channels. It will really help us out to continue helping you mine the gold in mind.